first half, and straight away getting into the action at half-back here. It's Aidan Walsh. Under pressure, however, with Cyril Donlan trying to get that first shot over the bar, but not succeeding in his task. First wide of the match, and he'll be expecting to have a big influence on this game. He's had a very good season so far. Michael Duignan's alongside me. Michael, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Gerard, very quiet start out to the game, just thrown in there, and it started off with nobody looking. A lot of mistakes there at the very start, but I fancy Cork today. I think hoping for a very good open game. Looking at the way they've lined up so far, no sweepers, anything like that. Everybody in the traditional system. And
Johnny Glynn is setting sail here, 13 metres out, up over the defender's head. It's Glynn. He scores. What a goal! 52 seconds are gone. What an opening for Galway. What a terrific boost. His 6th ever goal in the championship. He's actually scored more goals than points. Got it over the defender's head and swept it in past Anthony Nash. Yeah,
Gerard, an incredible goal there. Lovely bit of skill here by Johnny Glynn. A huge man, beautiful hands, and flicked it to the net. A super start for him.
Well,
it caused havoc against them, and Joe Canning out at centre half forward.
One way of beating the sweeper. Here comes Jason Flynn, and that is another one that's well on his way and over the bar. So 2 attacks for Galway and 100% success rate so far. And Cork haven't even settled into the match, and they're a goal and a point behind.
Just Conor wheeling inside the corner forward. Galway switching their attack around from the very start.
Daithí Burke made the catch initially there, but Cork now trying to come back once again here with Daniel Carney fouled. It's going to be a free hit. Goals that day by Pádraig O'Sullivan really decided the issue in Cork's favour. Horgan's first free, Cork's first point.
Yeah, you're just asking about Joe Canning there, Jerry. He's moved.
It's Conor Whelan, the 18-year-old. Hasn't gone to him yet, however. Kicked out there by Aidan Walsh. Missed by a couple of players. Picked up by Horgan. Goes off. Aidan Hart's after him. 2 more joining. Slips the ball out to the left-hand side. Cork try to get this under control. Scoring opportunity. Comes back here as far as Conor Lehane, and Lehane fires it over the bar. Cork had a second. Their first to come from play. And it's now 1-1 to 2 points. Galway leading.
Yeah, good run by Pat Horgan there. I thought he maybe should have slipped the ball out to Seamus Harnedy earlier, but Conor Lehane coming around the loop, good score, and he's looking lively all season inside in the full forward.
The 2 inside forwards for Cork right now, they're just playing 2 up there, are Lehane and Cooper. In the middle of the field, once again, it's Jason Flynn who picks it up. After him goes Patrick Cronin. Can't get to him, however, and that's another beauty. A second already for Jason Flynn. Now he's getting on the ball time and again here and causing problems.
He is Cormac Murphy.
But that goal by Glynn giving Galway an enormous boost. Certainly should settle them down. Cork trying to come back. Goes off Cronin's stick this time. They're trying to work it out, and again there's pressure by Patrick Horgan this time. Back it comes. Harnedy's there, and Harnedy fires it over the bar. Seamus Harnedy from St. Ita's in East Cork. First point of the match.
Yeah, super scorer Seamus Harnedy, key player for Cork. Great ball winning ability, great striker as well, and that's a very good score. And both forward lines doing well on limited possession so far.
Once again up towards Jason Flynn. This has come, but won back by Aidan Walsh. Into the middle of the field to a very lively Daniel Carney. Carney hitting it from right out near the sideline. What a score that is! Only his 2nd point in this year's championship. Brilliant score.
Brilliant score, and he's a very athletic player in the middle of the field, and I think Cork really settled now. They were shook with that goal early on. I'm just looking
here. Yeah, there was a loose flick there from Cahalane, caught Donlan.
Yeah, well, my view on that, Jerry, he didn't protect his hand. The ball was flicked out to him. He went with a wide open hand. We'd be coached from a young age, get your hurl behind the hand you're catching with, and the ball was there to be won, in my opinion. I think it's a harsh yellow card. He's entitled to go for the ball.
Well, I'm sure that's the argument that Damien is making as well to the referee, but in vain. 11, I think.
Yeah, that's the only match he ever lost against the Cork team at minor under-21 club or inter-county senior, and he scored.
And making it 1-3 to 4 points. This is picked up here by Daithí Burke, very accomplished wing back. In as far as Jason Flynn, he's catching a lot of ball, gives it out to Cathal Mannion, his first touch. Nobody on him, absolutely nobody marking him, and he steers it over the bar.
Jared, that's a very good score by Cathal Mannion, but as you say, nobody marking him. the whole passage of play. Dahi Burke just waltzed out to a ball, played it up the wing, and there wasn't a hand laid in any Galway player there. Cork very lax there.
So once again, it's Anthony Nash is going to take it. That time it was Dahi Burke coming across the flight path, but taking it instead is Johnny Cohen here, under pressure from Patrick Cronin, slipping it back here into the corner, and they work it out of defence eventually with Pádraig Mannion down into space here. It's 1 against 3, but the one is Joe Canning, got a little touch on it, then back as far as Jason Flynn, productively worked inside as far as Cathal Mannion, standing his ground against Cahalane, back onto his left and over the bar. The 3 inside forwards working in tandem. They're not playing inside forward, but they are dangerous, and Mannion's got a second.
Yeah, this movement of those 2 players in particular, Mannion and Flynn, is causing havoc. They're coming out the field, getting on the end of the ball, and 2 very skillful players, and both of them have got a couple of good scores now.
Daniel Carney withstands the challenge, down into the corner as far as Lee Hahn, trying to control it, almost gave it away, wins it back from Johnny Cohen, gives it off as far as Patrick Horgan. Chance for the taking here, and he's put it over the bar, and he's got a second. That's the first to come from open play, and it's now 1-5 to 5 points. It's moving along very smartly, this game. 10 minutes gone. Well, there's real pace to it, and that is where Lee Hahn almost lost it there to Johnny Cohen, but it's going to be a free to Cork.
Yeah, and it's very open, and who's that going to suit the best? I think it suits both of these teams, because Cathal Mannion, Jason Flynn, Joe Canning, they love the room they have, and the same with Seamus Harnedy, Conor Lehane, Pat Horgan, players like that, getting an awful lot of room out there. And despite the fact there's a sweeper, both teams are playing the ball down the channels, and they're taking the sweepers out of it.
Yellow card there for Johnny Glynn, second player to be booked in this match. One of Galway's very, very tall, physical players, the likes of Canning and Tarnedy, Glynn, Donnellan, big, huge men. Horgan taking this once again. We're still ahead by 2. Colm Callan's puck out towards right half forward over there towards Johnny Glynn. If you've got a man like Glynn up there, that's the place to hit it. Into Andy Smith now. Able to control himself, settle his feet, look at the target and fire it over. Good point. Having won the puck out, it was on to Smith, and Smith did the rest. Goal between them.
Yeah, great leader of this Galway team. He's captain here today, and to me a very underestimated player. Super assist there by Jonathan Glenn in the match so far.
Missed by a couple of defenders, not by Flynn. On to Cathal Mannion. Inside it goes towards Whelan, trying to get onto it and succeeds. First real touch for the 18-year-old, and that's his first point in championship hurling. Conor Whelan, 18 years of age, from Kinvara, made his adult debut with the intermediates a couple of weeks ago against Kilkenny and got 2-2 that day, and now a point here to make it 1-7 to 6 points.
Yeah, very skillful and fast hurler, underage. He had a great career with Galway, and that's a super score. That'll settle him down now.
Broken down by Aidan Hart. Back on once again by Johnny Glynn. In there towards Whelan once more. Standing his ground there against Shane O'Neill. And he's won a free in. He'll be very, very pleased with his contribution here in the opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, watch Shane O'Neill just in with the hand and give him a little tug. Galway 4 points up, and Joe's hit 3 wide. By his standards, normally he puts straight over the bar.
Short puck out this time to Stephen MacDonald, but he's put under pressure there by Cyril Donnellan, then carried it out over the near sideline, and the linesman on this side, Sean Clear, flagging that it's going to be a Galway line ball, which is going to be hit in by Jason Flynn. Plenty of pace in it, across to David Burke, the St. Thomas's player. Over his shoulder, and is it over the bar as well? It is.
Yeah, great line ball across the field by Flynn, picked out David Burke, lovely tidy hurler, and that's a great score. And Galway well on top here. Every one of their forwards midfield is very involved in the game. I think Cyril Donnellan
striking it past Shane O'Neill up into the corner. It's still in play over there. Joe Canning onto it quickly, keeping it away from Stephen MacDonald. 2 against him. Then swiftly changing the direction of the attack across, intended for Jason Flynn. Doesn't take it, however, but his man gets it away, and that's Cormac Murphy. Over as far as Conor Lehane. Cork will be hoping that he exerts a big influence in this match. Getting away now from Johnny Cohen. Fires it and hits it well and steers it over the crossbar. A second for Conor Lehane.
Yeah, well, that's an absolutely brilliant score. Great piece of skill there by Cormac Murphy, going backwards. He brought down the ball and then delivered a great crossfield ball in front of Lehane. He still had lots of work to do. Great block there by Irlatanian, but before that, Lehane there put on the afterburners and over the bar.
Conor Lehane, who'll be 23 on Thursday, so an opportunity for an early birthday present for him. What about that for a catch for Johnny Glynn? And not for the first time from the Galway puck outs. He hits it, but hits it poorly in the end. And they are now throwing away valuable. Reached the target.
Yeah, for a brief second there, I thought Conor Lehane was loose inside. He could have slipped it into him. Eventually hit it wide, but you can see Cork again trying to push the pace of the game with the puck outs. They're taking them immediately, and Jonathan Lynn with a couple of great catches, but really he needs to play that ball in front of the full forward line into Joe Canning rather than hitting it wide from the middle of the field.
This one is controlled in the middle of the field here by Brian Lawton, then gives it away. That then goes chasing back after it himself. Lawton, the 26-year-old from Castlemartyr, gets it down here to Daniel Carney. He's done really well in the opening quarter, and a second for Carney, the 25-year-old from SARS. It's the first time he started a championship match against Galway, and right now he has put a goal between the teams again. That's back up there towards Jason Flynn. Reaching out for it, however, was Cormac Murphy. He's been switched on to Flynn in the last few minutes there to try and negate his influence.
Just watch it here now again.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he was over
He
the
definitely did, but I think before that, under the high ball, I think Aidan Hart was fouled under that dropping ball, and that's why you saw it.
And Patrick Horgan's got to take it. He's got 3 points already in this match. Well, the Cork's tally of 8. And they will need to avail of every opportunity because Galway have been the better.
They're only 2 points down. Galway with more possession, but they've wasted it and had a number of poor wides.
Again, Johnny Glynn is the target for all of these, and getting up ahead of Aidan Walsh and eventually cracking this one over the bar. A point to go with the goal he got in the opening minute.
Yeah, he's causing havoc. I think that's about the 4th puck out he's won cleanly. Criticised him the last time for shooting from distance, but he carried that one closer to the goal, and Joe Canning made a run off the ball, created a bit of room for him, and he stuck it over.
On the face of it, Michael, you would have thought the matchup is perfect there. Aidan Walsh, big tall man against Johnny Glynn, but Glynn is winning them.
Yeah, Glynn is big, but here's Whelan inside now.
Here's Whelan. Thought about going inside, didn't need to do so. Forced the shot, however, and a little bit to the right, and a missed opportunity. 7 wides for Galway.
The Galway, yeah, I suppose that's the difference.
Push in the back.
Yeah, the Galway backs are more aggressive, but they have fouled. This is going to be the and the Galway forwards, they say, can't believe the amount of space they're having.
Again, the umpire reaches for the white flag, and that's a 5th for Patrick Horgan. 4 of the 5 have come from place balls, and once again it's a 2-point game. 22, nearly 23 minutes are gone. Calden's puck out, this time batted down by Brian Lawton. Onto it quickly, Bill Cooper spills back, however, as far as Johnny Glynn. He's got an immense amount of ball away over there towards Joe Canning. Back as far as Cathal Mannion has played a deep roll back out around the 45-metre line on the half-forward line, and every opportunity he's got, he's put it over, and that's his 3rd point from distance. 1-9, 1-10. Oh, not quite sure what he was thinking of there. In between two minds, I think. Irlatanian puts Galway back in the attack. They should have done better there. Instead, Cork were able to control it. And it's Aidan Walsh, has a loose player to his left-hand side, uses him. That's Cormac Murphy. And Murphy fires it and puts it over the bar. A position where Galway seemed to be in control, then gave it away, and Cormac Murphy comes up with the score.
Yeah, that was well worked there. Mark Ellis did get across to that breaking ball and picked it up onto Aidan Walsh, and a nice pass into Cormac Murphy, and I think you could see maybe the breeze at work a little bit there. He only gave that a flick from the middle of the field and over the bar. Cork playing with the breeze.
And Cyril Donlan has got himself a card now as well, to go with the one that John out quickly as far as Mark Ellis from that puck out. Short one down as far as Horgan. He's come deep as he did in the last 2 matches against Wexford and against Clare. Ellis once again. Now they can create space inside. Lawton's available. Looks over his shoulder, watches it, and sees that it's gone flying over the crossbar. Brian Lawton's first.
Yeah, much better play there again. Mark Ellis involved. Beautiful ball. He got the head up, looked up and picked up a free Brian Lawton. And I think Mark Ellis' influence just in the last few minutes, he seemed to come to grips now with the role that he's playing. He's got on the ball 2 or 3 times in the last couple of minutes.
That was the yellow card incident earlier on, the foul there on Aidan Walsh by Cyril Donnelly. He got the card for that. From the puck out, it's Galway who have it once again. And David Burke driving this one, and driving it left and wide. Shane O'Neill has come across, sweeping it back down once again, given away to David Burke. David Burke off his left-hand side. Galway retain possession. And that one goes in, goes up, and goes over. And there is a score there for Joe Canning, his first to come from open play, second in the match in all, and once again there are two between them.
Yeah, lovely play by David Burke, a great ball in, and in fairness to Joe Canning, he had the confidence to have a go. Great block down there by Jason Flynn. Mark Ellis caught in possession.
And from that, it's Cathal Mannion who sweeps onto it and puts it over the bar. The short puck out didn't work that time. Galway were onto it quickly, they blocked it down beautifully. Mark Ellis caught, and Mannion punishing them. Go between them once more. Here comes Patrick Cronin. Steadies himself. The angle was good enough, but he wasn't able to put it over.
Yeah, great catch here and a poor wide, but we've talked about Cathal Mannion. He's at centre half forward now. This movement of the Galway forwards is completely bamboozling the Cork defence. They don't know where to go, and Cathal Mannion is getting on the end of so many balls. He's 4 points from play scored now.
And that one has gone out over the sideline. It's going to be a line ball. It's a peculiar kind of game. We've seen there's 25 scores so far, but we haven't quite seen the fireworks.
No, very little spark. We've said it already. Galway's wides. Galway really could be 7-8 points up in this game. They are dominating the game, but Cork are sticking in there, and they're going to be happy enough approaching half-time.
A lot of good action tonight in the Sunday game with Des Cahill. 9:30 RT2. Meanwhile, there's good action here, and David Burke has struck that one off his right side and over the bar.
Yeah, he's been very influential. This type of a loose midfield role suits him. He's brilliant skill. Look at that, first time on the run, no touch from the middle of the field and straight over the bar off his left side. Super score.
Well, there was a lead of 3 points after Galway scored early on, that Johnny Glynn goal. Now the lead is pushed out to 4, which probably reflects the way in which this game has gone. Controlled here, and controlled well by Cathal Mannion once again, trying to play it inside. A support player is David Burke. Burke is a terrier, tenacious man. Back out as far as Cathal Mannion, and Mannion's put 5 between them with his 5th point of this match. All of them coming from open play, and you wonder who's keeping an eye on Cathal Mannion.
Well, there's nobody, but he is giving a great display. See David Burke's hurling brain again there. Just looked up and flicked a little past the
points scored so far. This to try and eat into Galway's lead needs to be on target, and once again he does.
One from play for Pat Horgan, but I just can't get over the display of the Cork backline. They're just giving Galway, they're just letting them onto the ball, winning the ball, and then hoping to get it back off them. It's not
they're
happening.
Winning everything, Michael. Cyril Donnellan here from a horrible angle. Don't know how he managed to do that, but he did. And every one of the 6 forwards has now scored from play in this match. Terrific performance by the Galway forward line. That was a hellish angle, but he made little of it.
Yeah, and I think that's 114 from play from that Galway forward line. Only 1 free so far, and we've mentioned it a few times already. Cork not laying a hand on them.
Johnny Cohen comes once again. Well, they certainly have recovered from the loss in the Leinster final to Kilkenny. They're flying once more. Conor Whelan this time blocked down. There are 3 backs there for Cork who should be able to take it. Again, pressure on Brian Murphy, and the referee decided that the pressure wasn't legitimate pressure. Heats up a little bit. And common sense eventually about to be restored, one hopes. Lots and lots of whistling by James Owens, and the whistling has the desired effect. It's going to be a free out.
Yeah, there was so much in it. Look at the amount of players that had to get involved. Silly stuff.
Score. They're not going to get it here, however, and that ball is hit out smartly. And then there is pressure by Bill Cooper. Down went the Galway defender. It's David Burke, in fact. Crowd got a bit excited.
Yeah, David Burke was brave there. He must have known the man was coming because the ball was played a bit short to him. And he took a heavy knock.
Again, the notebook is out. I think David Burke was probably a bit open there when that challenge came in from Bill Cooper. Obviously not anticipating it, and so a yellow card is issued to Cooper. So that's 2 Cork players, the other being Damien Cahalan, who've seen yellow. Stays at 115 to 13 points. Just over a minute to go to half-time. That's where Cooper came in with the shoulder.
I don't think there was anything in that. There was no intent. He kept his elbow down and he just met him on shoulder to shoulder, and you could see how irate he was, and Pat Horgan, and it's just a thing that's come
back out here as far as Aidan Walsh. Down into the inside forward line. Harnedy looking for a ball to come his way. He gets it ahead of John Hanbury. And from 45 metres out, he turns and guides it over. Second for Harnedy. They have the forwards capable of getting the scores. Their backline needs certainly tightening up. But right now, there are 4 between them as we approach half-time.
Yeah, good score by Harnedy, good leadership. He looked for that ball the minute Aidan Walsh got it and called for it. And, you know, there is an option there, playing direct ball in on top of him. He's a great battler inside. Once
again, it is Cathal Mannion coming across here, and anybody who's tried to mark him so far has had major difficulties. Mannion, the scorer-in-chief for Galway, with 5 points in the first half.